briefly with some overview remarks, and then I'll pass it to the subject matter experts who are with me today. But our overarching effort to achieve this goal has been laid out in President Trump's executive order 14161, which was issued on January 20th, 2025, entitled Protecting the United States from Foreign Terrorists and Other National Security and Public Safety Threats. And in issuing that, the visa adjudication process has been a key component, and it must, as outlined in the executive order, that visa process must ensure that U.S.-bound foreign travelers do not pose a threat to the national security and public safety of the United States. In the President's executive order, the President directed the Secretary of State to evaluate all visa programs to ensure that they are not used by any foreign national state or other hostile actor to harm the security, economic, political, cultural, or other national interests of the United States. And that's anywhere in the world. To that end, to protect the national security and national interests of the United States and its people, the Department of State and other U.S. government agencies assess other countries' security capabilities, information sharing, and identity management practices, as well as any risk of exploitation of the U.S. visa system, such as fraud and overstay rates, and compliance with facilitating the repatriation of removable nationals. And to that end, in furtherance of the executive order, the Department of State has changed non-immigrant visa validity for nationals of various countries, including Uganda. New non-immigrant visas for Ugandan citizens will now be issued as valid for one entry, 3 months, which mirrors the validity that Ugandan visas issued to American tourists and business travelers has been. This validity change increases, and it's one way we're increasing our ability to detect and prevent abuse of our immigration system. With those very brief introductory remarks, I will pass the mic to my colleagues for further comments. Ellen.
Great, thank you. So we'll
exploit the U.S. travel system. Here I am also in charge of the Overseas Criminal Investigations Unit, where we focus on these things. So providing fake documents during the visa process is a crime. We cooperate regularly with the UPF, and in the last 2 weeks alone, we have assisted with the arrest of 5 visa applicants who presented fraudulent degree certificates, O-level, A-level, and university transcripts, and bank statements. As Tanya said, individuals who intentionally provide inaccurate information will not get a visa, may be permanently ineligible to enter the United States, and can face criminal prosecution. Those who commit fraud and abuse our visa process could face arrest. This includes those individuals who are creating fraudulent documents used in visa applications. Along with conducting investigations, my team provides travel and identity document training to security personnel and Ugandan law enforcement partners. This hands-on training deters and reduces illegal immigration into the United States by giving our partners the skills needed to assess the security features present on passports, visas, and the supporting documents. Our message here is clear. Those who violate U.S. immigration law will be held accountable.
thank you.
Unfortunately, I don't have a number to share with you today. Countries around the world, we are not the only country that has had the change in reciprocity. That's part of the Trump administration's, it's one of the steps that they're taking to try to manage this issue and to protect our national security and to strengthen our visa process. When we issue a visa for 2 years, in that meantime, something could change within, an individual who has a visa that we are not aware of. When they have a shorter visa validity, it gives us more ability to control the process and who we're giving a visa to. But Uganda is not the only country that has had that change. Unfortunately, the fees do not change either. Fees are set globally for us, and it's based on the actual cost to issue a visa. Our U.S. law says we must interview people face to face, and that costs a lot of money, as well as, maintaining the website for the application, for the actual printing the visa. So all of those costs go into calculating that fee. Also, by U.S. law, we cannot make a profit on that. So every few years, we do another analysis of how much does it actually cost us to adjudicate a visa, and that's how we come up with that fee. So I'm sorry, but it's not changing with the validity. And then, Brian.
Basically, our reciprocity tables have been adjusted for many countries around the world. So Uganda is one of a number of countries where it's been brought into alignment, in this case here in Uganda, with also what U.S. visitors to Uganda receive upon arrival for business and tourism. For the second question on birth tourism, I'll pass it to Tanya.
Exploit the U.S. travel system. Here I am also in charge of the Overseas Criminal Investigations Unit, where we focus on these things. So providing fake documents during the visa process is a crime. We cooperate regularly with the UPF, and in the last 2 weeks alone, we have assisted with the arrest of 5 visa applicants who presented fraudulent degree certificates, O-level, A-level, and university transcripts, and bank statements. As Tanya said, individuals who intentionally provide inaccurate information will not get a visa, may be permanently ineligible to enter the United States, and can face criminal prosecution. Those who commit fraud and abuse our visa process could face arrest. This includes those individuals who are creating fraudulent documents used in visa applications. Along with conducting investigations, my team provides travel and identity document training to security personnel and Ugandan law enforcement partners. This hands-on training deters and reduces illegal immigration into the United States by giving our partners the skills needed to assess the security features present on passports, visas, and the supporting documents. Our message here is clear. Those who violate U.S. immigration law will be held accountable.
Thank you.
As the ambassador mentioned, national security is always our top priority when adjudicating visa applications. And in line with that Executive Order 14161 that the ambassador referred to, every applicant for a U.S. visa undergoes extensive security screening to ensure that those individuals do not pose a threat to the United States, our citizens, or our national interests. Individuals who intentionally provide inaccurate information on their visa application or during their interview will not get a visa, and they may be permanently ineligible to enter the United States. They may also face criminal prosecution either here or in the U.S. If an individual uses a U.S. visa to travel to the United States and then misuses that visa, they may be subject to deportation and ineligible for visas in the future. When someone who holds a U.S. visa travels to the United States, one of our immigration agents at the border will inform that person how long they're permitted to remain in the United States. If that person then overstays that visa, they could be deported and could face a permanent ban on re-entering into the United States. As our Secretary of State Rubio has stated, violators of U.S. law, including international students, face visa denial or revocation and deportation. And I'd like to take a moment to talk about birth tourism, which you've seen some in the media lately. So using a U.S. visa to travel for the primary purpose of giving birth in the United States is not permitted. Consular officers will deny a visa application if they have reason to believe that is the primary purpose of travel. We have seen that many Ugandan parents travel to the United States to give birth in the U.S., and then they use U.S. government assistance to pay for that childbirth. These costs are then passed on to the American taxpayer, and so in the long run, those parents may be ineligible for a visa for future travel to the United States. And then a few words about student visas. This is the time of year when students are applying for visas to study in the U.S. starting in the fall. The U.S. hosts over 1 million international students each year. Unfortunately, some of them misuse their visa. And this is a significant issue for the Trump administration and a serious one for Uganda. If a student visa holder drops out of classes, skips classes, or leaves their program of study without informing their school, their student visa may be revoked and they may lose eligibility for future U.S. visas. So it's very important that students adhere to the terms of their visa and maintain their student status to avoid any issues when in the United States. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.